I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting of the TRC to order. That worked pretty well. For those, I think some of y'all have maybe heard this speech before, but my name is Christopher Todd. I'm the Business Community Development Director here for Henderson County. I'll say a good thing real quick, which is there's a lot of folks here. Raise your hand if you're here regarding the Etowah subdivision. All right, so that answers that question. Fair enough. I want to let everybody that's here today know that the purpose of this committee is to hear the application, to review it for its completeness, not inherently the appropriateness. That would be a decision rendered by the planning board, who would ultimately vote on this application to either approve or deny it. That meeting is next week on the 24th at, yeah, it's next week now. Time's flying. 24th at 4 p.m. Located on Blue Ridge Community College's campus. All that information is posted online, and if anybody has any questions, please refer there or contact the Henderson County Planning Department, and they're happy to answer any specific questions that you may have. We're going to go ahead and move into the business because there are a lot of people. Once we get through this first item, we'll probably take a pause for a minute if you're here for another issue and allow folks that decide to leave to do so. Okay? All right. Let's see. Can I get a approval of the July 18th meeting summary? Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All right, moving into our first item of business today, Etowah Residential Major Subdivision 2023-03. Matt?
Henderson County received a master plan on behalf of Tribute Investment and Development Incorporated by Warren Sugg of Civil Design Concepts. The master plan shows a total of 242 residential lots. The subject area is located off Brevard Road and Brickyard Road in the Mills River Township. The entire parcel consists of 173.84 acres, but the subject area consists of 83.5 acres. The remaining 90.34 acres of the parent tract will remain unchanged. The proposed subdivision will be accessed through private roads built in accordance with the Land Development Code. The subject area includes a portion of PIN 9529524218 and is currently owned by WNC Resort Properties, LLC. The Etowah Valley Golf and Resort property currently contains 27 golf holes, 65 hotel rooms, 2 cottages, event center with commercial kitchen, a public restaurant, driving range, putting green, swimming pool, and tennis courts. 18 of the 27 holes, the existing clubhouse and amenities listed above, are located on the same parcel as the proposed major subdivision. 9 holes are located on the separate parcel that is not included in the major subdivision application. So the golf course and amenities were established prior to the adoption of the Land Development Code in September of 2007. The original 18-hole golf course and amenities began construction in 1964. The additional 9 holes, known as the North 9, was added to the existing 18-hole golf course starting in 1988. Prior to the Etowah Valley Golf and Resort, the subject area was part of the Mullen Drysdale Corporation, so the industrial site produced brick that supplied much of the eastern U.S. The surrounding properties contain residential structures, agricultural land, and commercial uses, primarily located along Brevard Road. The Salty Landing Restaurant is located southeast of the subject area. Etowah United Methodist Church and Etowah Public Library is located east of the subject area. The subject area is currently zoned Residential 1. Residential 1 is found in all directions of the subject area except for community commercial zoning found to the southeast. R1 allows for a standard density of 4 units per acre, intermediate density of 6 units per acre, and a maximum density of 12 units per acre. The new proposed master plan shows an overall density of no more than 6 units per acre. The subject area is partially encumbered by a special flood hazard area. The 100-year flood hazard area is shown along Gash Creek below the existing pond running south towards Brevard Road. The property is not in a water supply watershed district, and any surface waters found in the subject area will require a 30-foot stream buffer setback which is void of any impervious surfaces. The applicant is proposing to construct a wastewater treatment facility and discharge the treated water into Gash Creek at the existing Etowah Community Sewer System discharge. The master plan notes treated water will be connected to the existing Etowah Sewer System discharge. The proposed wastewater treatment facility will eventually be turned over to the Etowah Community Sewer Group, and the applicant is proposing to utilize City of Hendersonville public water. The County Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map places the subject area in the rural transition area and a small portion within the conservation area classification. The purpose of the master plan is to provide general information about the proposed development to allow for an assessment of its impact on the orderly growth and development of the county, environmental quality, land values, natural features identified on the site analysis sketch, and the county's roads and governmental services. During the review of the master plan, the planning board should take into consideration applicable recommendations of the Henderson County Comp Plan and the potential use of land to be subdivided, and the impact of the subdivision and proposed use, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. The submitted master plan shows the following elements. As I mentioned earlier, 242 residential lots, 12,450 linear feet of new private roadway, 12,450 feet or linear feet of pedestrian access, 2 entrances to the site, Brickyard Road and Brevard Road. An additional emergency access off Brevard Road that would be gated and also used to service the proposed wastewater treatment facility. 20.87 acres of open space, which represents 25% of the subject area. A 50-foot structure setback off Brevard Road and Brickyard Road, and a proposed 6,000 square foot clubhouse for future residents. Additionally, the applicant's traffic engineer has submitted a TIA to NCDOT. The document is under review now. Any comments or requirements from NCDOT's review of the TIA will be attached as a condition to the project moving forward. So Warren Sugg and Chris Day with CDC are here to represent the project.
Anything you gentlemen like to add right now? I guess we'll start over here with you, Natalie, if you have any comments.
Just that they would need an erosion control plan and a stormwater plan. On the erosion control, we limit the disturbance to 47.5 acres at one time. 47.5.
They're on, but they're being used solely for recording purposes right now. We're in the process of upgrading this space, and the projection doesn't work. I apologize.
The only thing I have for the project, the clubhouse would require a ADA parking space. I don't see that on the site plan, but probably at least one there.
I think you have everything on the plan as far as I'm concerned. It does, of course, need 2 exits out and in for access. As long as all the roads and cul-de-sacs and everything and gates meet the land development code on the dimensions. And of course, the hydrant's every 1,000 feet.
There'll be a floodplain permit for the development in and around the floodplain.
Anything else, Matt?
No, there are quite a few conditions listed in the staff report, as I'm sure some people have cruised through.
Marcus?
One, you all applied for your discharge permit? Yeah.
Yes, so we will submit an updated allocation. We received an allocation on the previous project, and we will forward over the updated allocation for the residential project. And so our consultant has met with the state. But this increase, this new treatment that will be taken over by Etowah Sewer falls within the existing state permit. The documentation from the state to put in that allocation.
How are you getting from your plant to,
So
where are you going with enforcement?
So yeah, good question. So right now, The new treatment is proposed along the highway, along the main road there, and we will, the force main will piggyback within the existing Etowah sewer easements that contain the existing gravity system out there to access from 64 back over to the treatment plant where then they combine.
So you're taking effluent to their plant,
Correct.
bypassing the plant and tying into the effluent line?
Exactly. So the effluent, so there's a.
You go into the wet well, or?
We're going to the wet well. And so right now, their plant has, their plant treats and the effluent goes into a wet well, which then pumps it to their ultimate discharge point. And so we will have treated effluent from the new plant that just ties into that same discharge point on the existing plant.
Yeah. Nothing, I mean, nothing. I guess improving the capacity of the existing plant wasn't.
The existing plant is challenged by available land to expand the existing plant. So this was an alternative to that, and so we placed the plant along 64 to facilitate access to it, to minimize neighbors to it, and then that property will be deeded over to Etowah Sewer for ownership.
What's your proposed capacity?
Of the new plant? Right now, we're looking at up to 120,000 gallons per day, which is basically the existing plant, I think is 125, and I think this is somewhere comparable to that.
Are you utilizing DOT encroachments for the force main, or is it,
So
the right of way and on private?
it crosses the DOT, and it will have an encroachment through the DOT process. That line would be public as we're deeding that over to Etowah, so that'll be that force main line will be theirs. We will request an encroachment to the DOT, but then we're piggybacking the existing easements that are already in place for the gravity line basically goes right through that state.
I'm sure their encroachments are pretty probably good.
Yep, absolutely.
Seth?
On your plans, you're showing a new clubhouse with an amenity area. Are you gonna have a pool? Is that what that looks like? Yeah. Just be sure that if you do that, the plans will come to the health department for approval. And if the clubhouse has a food service for members, that will also be included in that. Okay.
As Matt said, the TIA has been submitted and it's under review. We would need a driveway permit for all three connections and the normal array of encroachments. And the stormwater would need all the calculations and everything for hydraulics to be doing wrong.
Thank you.
All right. Any more comments?
I mean, we approved, contingent on the condition, the staff reviewing things. Just stormwater and, erosion control. And the TIA and,
The comment was a motion for forwarding on to the planning board contingent on all of the conditions and comments made by the technical review committee. Is there a second? Second.
good looking plan.
All in favor? Aye. Pass. Again, that motion will now forward this development on the subdivision master plan on to the planning board, who will meet next week, the 24th, at Blue Ridge Community College at 4 p.m., who will ultimately hear and render a decision on that application. So we're going to take a 5-minute break to allow anybody in the room that wishes to leave. Thank you for being a part of the process.
Yeah, I can email you everything. I put them online. Yeah, these, I like this. Nobody's ready.
I say that's been great, probably destroyed what they did. But
We will have, as part of the staff report going to the meeting here, all of the comments that we made. And it will be required to be part of that staff report. So you will see the
Yeah, we have 6 other items. So the Etowah project will now go to planning board on the 24th.
And as far as you guys are concerned,
We looked at it for the technical side of things. We're not the decision makers on this project. We're making sure they met the technical requirements we have, and that's it. It's the process laid out in the land development code. How
This is a meeting more for the applicant and it puts all the county members together for them to ask questions. Not for us, it's on them.
Yeah. So then the planning board has to say, they're the ones that get to say whether it's approved or denied.
so the rest of your business has nothing to do with it.
Oh, no. We have a whole bunch of other items.
Other items.
Yep, yeah.
No.
No,
Probably
yeah.
having every building now, but
Yeah, we'll have the other projects coming in after. So.
So what is your wheelhouse?
I'm the county engineer.
You're a county engineer.
We're in a meeting. Call me afterwards, please.
But that would be popular.
Ingalls,
That makes sense.
Brickton, that's a warehouse.
What it would take. What you know.
Yeah, these were
Restaurant.
Yeah.
That can start ratcheting up.
Speaking of pools, somebody came here pushing about a block around here. So like more of a not in the ground type thing. Do those still come through the health department? It's a small round pool. And
The easy answer is going to be built.
they, okay. I don't know if they did or not, but I told them to call you guys. and just ask.
And normally we do, but the way they usually get around it, they have to build them officially. Come October 1st, they do their
Okay.
Chris.
maybe.
Chris Todd. Go sign. Try to see. Yeah, let's get that. You can. Like I said, you- Don't pay those mine, you also see them in mine.
I mean,
Everybody else has to, you don't.
these next 3 things, 4 things.
Oh, you get caught in it with it? Oh, wow.
Agenda? Yep, so the next two are Ingalls, then Brickton Road.
Those 3 projects involve you.
Yeah.
Did you say 3?
Well, the variance kind of involves you, but the next.
I'm parked illegally down in the little commercial space.
We can run through these pretty quick.
Yeah.
Which one do you, is there one that you need to be on
No,
first?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll go through it.
Alright,
If
moving
there was
on.
like 5 minutes, I was gonna run and move it.
Alright.
Moving on to the second item, it's you again. It's the Matt Champion Show. All right.
Okay, so I can make this short and sweet. We received a revised major site plan for retail sales and service, convenience store, fuel pumps, and a car wash. The project is called Ingles number 140. The applicant is Preston Kendall with Ingles Markets. The subject area is located off Hendersonville Road and is approximately 11.2 acres. The supplemental requirements for the application are SR 7.16, SR 7.4, SR 2.5, SR 6.5, and they're all listed within the staff report. Currently, one of the subject area parcels contains a 9,000 square foot warehouse structure. The rest of the subject area is vacant. Surrounding properties consist of commercial and industrial uses. Subject area is zoned regional commercial, and the surrounding properties are also zoned regional commercial. Subject area is not located in a special flood hazard area, and the parcel is not in a water supply watershed district. The applicant is proposing City of Hendersonville Public Water and MSD Public Sewer to serve the project. The County Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map places the subject area in the Urban Services Area classification and within a Community Service Center. So the applicant is proposing a total of 114,166 square feet of retail space and service within 2 separate structures and a convenience store with gas and diesel pumps. Major site plan shows a total of 280 parking spaces to serve the entire property, ADA accessible parking spaces throughout the subject area serving each structure. The major site plan also shows the following. So you have a 94,296 square foot Ingles grocery store. Adjacent to that is a 19,870 square foot retail space. Unspecified 9,600 square feet of retail space as well, closer to the road. 6,125 square feet convenience store with gas and diesel pumps. Drive-through automatic car wash with vacuums. A total of 8.9 acres of impervious surface area, which is 79.5%. A total of 2.3 acres of pervious surface area, which is 20.5%. You've got an enclosed dumpster area, landscape parking islands and grass areas around the site, and EV charging stations in the parking lots. As part of this project, the applicant was required to submit a TIA to NCDOT. The revised major site plan shows 2 right-in and right-out access points into the property. The primary entrance to the property will be a signalized intersection directly across from where Butler Bridge runs into US Highway 25. The next item will be a variance, and I won't mention that right now, but it pertains to this site. So the subject area is not required to buffer the perimeter of the site since the surrounding properties all fall within the same zoning district. The applicant will be required to provide parking area landscaping, car wash buffer, screening, and dumpster screening. And that's all I have. This might sound familiar to you because we did approve a major site plan for this project back in December of 2022. And they got back to us with a revised plan after they've done a lot of work with NCDOT to get everything in a row.
All right. Anything?
I had the revised plans in our office. We're gonna review them here.
We're all good.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't speak last time.
I know. It's, all right. Goodness.
My turn?
Yep.
So it meets the ADA parking requirements for the building code. And retaining walls will be designed by an engineer. So they will be submitted separately to me. I think we've got some building construction plans. Is it just on the car wash right now? We got the whole building, right? That's what I thought. It's been a while since I looked at it. Okay. Which, we've actually completed that review. So.
The storage area.
We'll get a new set of plans. Okay.
Same plan we
It grew. Okay.
I don't really have anything new, just a reminder that any of the buildings over 7,500 will have to be tested for the emergency radio system.
Marcus?
Stupid question, but recycling tanks, recycled water for the car wash. I thought we needed some terminology I hadn't heard of. Yeah, for the,
Food recycling, tanks, and our water.
Overall fine, and one comment, I know you guys know, is just make sure that Raleigh gets a copy of the plans for meat market, the deli, produce, and all that stuff.
TIA is complete. We came to a satisfactory conclusion for everyone on that one. We will still need the final driveway permits for all three connections. I think we've issued the temporary. I don't know that we've got any questions with.
We do have a temporary, I have submitted for the permanent driveway, so when we don't have time to do it, permit commission. We still have a little piece right away to work on, that one piece that's kind of
We will need the full stormwater plans and calculations to submit for the hydraulics review. And at some point very soon, we need to start the process to get us to release those 2 PDEs so it can be absorbed into the site. That's not going to be a hold up, but we need to make sure we do that process moving forward.
Do have one extra comment, if you guys don't mind. You guys have requested to go ahead and process the sewer service application for the adjacent parcel, and we will do that. I think you guys just put all the information in one drive. I just haven't gotten into it, but Sam Willis had requested that we go ahead and process that. Since you guys already have access, that's going to be tied into the extension, but it can't be tied in with an encroachment into the existing terminal scramble. So we'll go ahead and do that. You guys can pay the development fee.
same owner, different owner.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Same project, same construction process.
Was that you or was it Sam? That was
Sam was the one that was here.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll go ahead and get that going.
All right. Any other comments? Is there a motion?
I move that the TRC approve the revised major site plan for Ingalls with the aforementioned conditions.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? And now on to the Ingalls variance map.
So based on this project, this could be really short and sweet, but based on the site plan that just got submitted and technically approved, due to NCDOT requirements based out of the TIA, additional right-of-way was required along 25, which is going to push everything back by 5 feet. So the front yard setback at the edge of the right-of-way off a road that is designated as a boulevard in the RC zoning district is 30 feet. So the applicant has requested that to be reduced to 25 feet, which is a variance of 5 feet. That's the extent of it. So they're showing in the packet for the major site plan that you saw, plus the variance packet, you can see the little tiny sliver of additional right-of-way that's pushing everything back. So this will be required to go to the ZBA as the ZBA approves the variances. That's the extent.
I don't know from a technical standpoint.
We pretty much just forwarded it on.
I move that the technical review recommend review to the zoning board of adjustment.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Item 6, Mr. Champion.
So that'll be the 30th in this room. Yeah. No, it will not be this crowded. I say that now.
Hopefully.
We
Yeah.
can make it crowded if you want.
We stir up the business. I don't know if this happens this time of year, but we can go ahead and go through it.
Yeah. Go.
Okay, so we also received a major site plan for warehousing and storage at 9652523138. The applicant is Brickton Industrial LLC that is represented by Ethan Jed Young. Subject area is located off Brickton Drive within Brickton Industrial Park and is approximately 3.34 acres. The applicant is proposing to construct 45,000 square foot structure for warehousing and storage purposes. Supplemental requirements for this application are SR 9.15 warehousing and storage, excluding warehousing of hazardous substances. The subject area is currently vacant and part of the Brickton Industrial Park. The original Brickton Industrial Park was approved by the Planning Board on February 27, 2001. The revised combined master development plan was approved by the Planning Board on November 8, 2005. On November 21st, 2017, a revised combined master and development plan was approved by the TRC that proposed one additional lot. The subject area plus the parcel directly north along Brickton Drive were subdivided into two separate parcels. The surrounding properties consist of industrial and residential uses. Garbage Pile Recovery Center is located west of the subject area. Light Park Gear Corporate Office is located directly north of the subject area. Southern Concrete Materials Supply Warehouse is located south of the subject area. The Sycamore Cottages residential subdivision is located east of the subject area. Subject area is currently zoned industrial. Industrial zoning is found to the northwest and south of the subject area. The Town of Fletcher's incorporated limits is located east of the subject area, encompassing Brickton Village and Sycamore Cottages residential developments. The Town of Fletcher zoning is shown as C1 conditional. The C1 district stands for General Commercial District. Subject area is not located in a special flood hazard area. The parcel is also not in a water supply watershed. The applicant is proposing City of Hendersonville Public Water and MSD Public Sewer. As mentioned earlier, the applicant is proposing to construct a 45,000 square foot structure for warehousing and storage space. The site will be developed into a single phase and accessed by a 24-foot wide heavy-duty asphalt drive around the entire structure. The major site plan shows two 12 by 60 loading spaces, 37 standard parking spaces, and two ADA accessible parking spaces. The buildings show a total of 18 12-foot wide overhead doors for loading and unloading materials and equipment stored in the proposed structure. Each building loading space has a minimum parking width of 14 feet. The closest fire hydrant is located approximately 210 feet north of the subject area at the intersection of Brickton Drive and in the existing access to the site. Total impervious surfaces post-development is approximately 1.98 acres or 59.3% of the site. The major site plan also shows a dry stormwater detention pond and parking lot landscaping. Yeah, he bought it.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, I made it just in time.
If you just have anything you want to add, and you're welcome to come to the table in case there's any questions or conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Start with DOT.
Well, this one, I don't have dog directly in this spot. Make sure that the retaining wall stays off the right of way for Old Hendersonville. The only other thing that really jumped out at me is at some point we need to try to track the cumulative effect of development inside the industrial park. Make sure that at some point we're gonna need some upgrades into the road coming back up to Old Hendersonville. The only other thing I saw, and this is probably for Kevin, is for me, 24 foot seems awful narrow if you've got all those 12-foot loading.
It has to be 26 foot. Random.
Marcus? Just out of curiosity, Crystal, part of it's the retaining wall 4 feet, does that mean you capture the whole wall even where it's not?
It's a great question, Marcus. Because it depends on the cumulative relief height
Oh.
as well as the length. So you have to measure both. So if it's over 5, it's 50 feet. Then registered design professional is required. If it's 49 feet and it's still over 5, then you still have to do a registered design professional. But if it's 4'11", it's 50 feet, you don't need to.
Of course,
It got complicated.
of course, in like 12 months, I'll have to call after this.
Right. Yeah.
Things look good, huh?
There's a lot of other variables that come into it too. If you've got a driveway on it, if it's on a property line, it doesn't really matter that cumulative length and height. It has to be designed by the registered operation.
Nothing from Flipland. Kevin?
Just as Rusty said, this size, this building requires a fire access road all the way around it, which you have. It's deemed as needing an aerial, which puts it at a 26-foot minimum, all the way around that. And of course, this is not the building plans, but just notice that this building will require the emergency radio system testing, because of the size of the building.
Will that come in building permit time?
Yeah. I just like to let you know up front that that's required.
Crystal?
Yeah, just my comments about the retaining wall. Need to be designed. And it meets the ADA parking. That's good there.
We've received the erosion and stormwater plans to review. The only comment I want to make is the airport authority has to look at them to make sure they meet the FAA requirements.
Okay. Is that another separate submittal line?
No, I send it to them. But there may be some requirements on this pond to have netting for birds and possibly riprap around. They have a certain dimension out around it. Yeah. Okay.
Michael, can you give us a allocation, I guess, when you get a chance? We gotta relocate, so that'll be permitted and have to go through all that. You're gonna have a pump station on here. And how many days was it? Was it 12 loading docks? Or 18? 18. That's it for me.
No other comments, is there a motion?
I believe that PRC approved the major site plan for Richard Road.
Thank you, Mark.
It's a little motion.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Yeah, give it to Crystal. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And on to our final item of business today, Mr. Champion.
Samuel, if you have to get out of here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Remember, we validate parking, if you get to.
Do we, Toby? Toby, when did we start doing that, Toby?
I was gonna let Toby do it. Toby's gonna.
Toby knows something I don't.
Yes.
Validate for us.
So our last item, as the room is cleared out, thankfully. So we received a minor site plan application for low impact camping from Suzanne Willis and Patrick Pearson called Green Haven on PIN 9537765967 off Stanley Lane. The property is currently listed to the applicants. The subject area is approximately 49.25 acres. So the supplemental requirements for the use are new, which is SR 4.4, and they're listed in your staff report. And as I mentioned, this is a recent amendment to the Land Development Code. And so low impact camping is defined as a primitive type of camping that has limited improvements, such as a fire ring, cleared or partially cleared sites for tent camping, and if possible, potable water. A landowner of a parcel or tract of land may establish and offer 10 or less low impact camping spaces for a fee through a managed site or reservation system. Low impact camping is intended to follow the National Park Service principles of leave no trace, which means anything brought in must be packed out, including trash. So the subject area is currently vacant except for 3 primitive camping sites, some improved roadways, and a pit toilet. The rest of the property is heavily forested with no additional improvements. The surrounding properties contain residential structures and vacant forest land. The subject area is zoned residential 3, and R3 is found in all directions around the site. The subject area is found within the conservation area and rural agricultural area future land use classifications according to the county comprehensive plan. There are multiple surface water sources on the subject area, so any future improvements will require the applicant to step back 30 feet from the edge of the surface water. So the applicant is not proposing a public well or individual septic. And so the applicant, as I mentioned, is proposing to develop the subject area as low impact camping with a total of 10 sites. The proposed campground would be called Green Haven. Currently, there are 3 improved campsites with picnic tables and fire rings. There are an additional 7 proposed campsites as shown on the minor site plan. The subject area contains hiking trails that are marked. The entire low-impact campground will be managed through an online reservation system. The subject area has access to Stanley Lane, which is a private road. All campsites will have access to parking area and accessible through a short hike. All future campsites are to be a minimum of 10 feet by 10 feet. And then based on 10 total sites, dedicated parking areas will be required to accommodate a maximum of 10 vehicles on the site. Suzanne Willis is here. She's the applicant and she can answer any questions you may have. It's pretty simple.
Anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know about great.
Comprehensive, we'll give him that. Natalie?
Nothing.
I don't need it.
No flood issues on property.
Mario?
How many trees do you plan on having?
Currently, there's one pit latrine and then, which is near the bottom 2 sites.
Uh-huh.
And then there is a 3rd site at the top of the property, and, we're building a 2nd one next to that one.
Because those, believe it or not, do take a permit from the office, believe it or not. And I'll, keep my comment. We do them very rarely,
Okay,
but it is in the rules.
okay, well, I want to follow the rules.
Which is why we're here. So
Yes.
that's good.
No comments from DOT?
All right. So with the one comment about needing to work with environmental health for the pit latrine, anything else? Is there a motion?
So,
Second? All in favor?
all right.
All right.
There's a joke there about indoor permit.
On that, we're adjourned.
What I forgot to tell you,
I know you were my good. I know.
they had a commissioner meeting